Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our monthly appointment with the Malaysian Proptech Association TechTalk. Thank you all for registering, and thank you all for being very punctual, I have to say, considering that it's a Saturday afternoon, and some more, a Saturday afternoon during first day of a long bridge of 5 days of holidays. I hope you are all safe, healthy, and happy. Okay, let me just do a very short introduction about MPA, or Malaysian Proptech Association, which was established in 2017 by a small group of, at the time, startups. These startups by today have been abundantly grown up. Some of them are almost ready to make a big jump. And beside the founders of Malaysian Proptech Association, which is of course a non-profit, non-governmental association, is an industry representative for the PropTech ecosystem, we have nowadays almost 80 members comprising all the different verticals in the PropTech industry. PropTech is property and technology, and this is why we have this frequent monthly appointment called TechTalk. Today we have a super guest of honor that I will let Vivienne, our VP of Innovation and Technology, introduce to all of you. What I would like to just underline for 1 or 2 minutes to all of you is this: Malaysian Proptech Association is eagerly looking for expanding the membership base that we already have, which is quite big, as I said, almost 80 members. So I see most of the participants today, I don't think are already members of the Malaysian Proptech Association, so I invite all of you to pay a short visit later after the talk to our website www.proptech.org.my and click on Join Us. There is a page where you will find, of course, feel free to surf around the website and check out what have been the past event, the current event, and at the end, consider the possibility of becoming one of our members. You can be member if you have a PropTech startup as ordinary, but you can also be a member if you are passionate about technology applied to property. If you are a real estate agent, a valuer, a building manager, a data scientist, a developer, a app developer, or other cloud service provider, or whatever else, smart city passionate, all is good for Malaysian Proptech Association. You can also apply and become an associate member. If you are a student, good news is we have a special category for students at an extremely affordable price. So don't miss out. After this Tech Talk, pay a short visit to www.proptech.org.my. And with this, again, welcome to all to our monthly Tech Talk, and I pass the stage to you, Vivienne, for the kickoff of our Tech Talk. One last thing before I pass over, sorry, for information of all, this webinar is going to be recorded, and within a few days after the webinar itself will be available on our YouTube channel, our PropTech YouTube channel. Vivienne, stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel. Good afternoon, everyone. As more and more companies embark into digital transformation, the real estate industry is running into the game as well. With digital transformation, data size grows bigger and bigger. With all these data that are being captured from all angles and various parties, what do you think we can churn out? Perhaps human behavior? Or perhaps a better way to position our product to attract more market shares? Or even helping your clients to bring in more sales. While some of you may want to even use data to help your clients to save more money by helping them to prevent faulty assets being faulty that will cost them even more money to fix, or even data to help them to bring in more clients or tenants into their building. Today, We have Dr. Ting Choo Yee from Multimedia University at Cyberjaya. Currently, he is working as a professor at the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, as well as the Deputy Dean of the Institute of Postgraduate Studies. In year 2002, Dr. Ting was awarded with the Fellow of Microsoft Research by Microsoft Research Asia, Beijing, China. Most of the projects were funded by MOE, MOSTI, Telecom Malaysia, MDEC, and the industries. In year 2014, he and his team members won 2 national level big data analytics competitions. Who else would be able to give us more insight into big data? I would like to now invite Dr. Ting, who will guide us through the various stages of data collection and storage. But it does not just stop there yet, because he is also going to share with us how can we analyze this data that is being collected from all over the places, various sources, and use them as well, because data is the new oil. Dr. Ting, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vivian. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just allow me to share the screen. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Perfectly, thank you.
All right. So thank you very much for the brief introduction about what I'm doing now at MMU. And most of the time, I've been dealing with machine learning projects for the past few years, particularly with industries. Right. So the title for this talk today would be a journey into the world of data science. I will share with you some of my very personal experience, my limited personal experience about my engagement with the industry for the past 5 years, what I have seen, and how to move forward. I hope that this can be something that can be important, right? And to newbies in the data science, it could enlighten you some way and somehow. I hope that yeah, towards the end, if you have any questions, just let me know. All right. So okay, straight to the point. These are some of the company's dilemma, right? What should I know before jumping into the game? This is the first question. What should I know? All right. The second question is, what value does data science guarantee me? This is very, very crucial questions in industry, right? Most of the time, we are dealing with financial status, how to control the budget, how to make sure that our investment is actually having a good ROI. So these are the main 2 questions that most of the industries, most of the company I went to will ask these questions. So let's begin with the first one, right? What should I know before jumping into the game? This game here refers to data science, right? Data science or analytics, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so first thing first, right? Are you looking into business intelligence or data science? That is the first question. That is always the first question. There is always a mix up, a big mess between these two, all right? So I take this opportunity here to share a bit on what BI is talking about, what data science is about, right? I just highlight these 2 boxes here, right? These 2 boxes here in red color, right? The first one, I will look at the first box here, explore data, find best method, build a model, operationalize the model, right? When we look at BI, right, only implement formula into the platform within existing platform. Now, what would be the good platform that people want to start with, which is cheap, which is fast, which is convenient to use? Straight away come to our mind will be, hey, why not we use Tableau? Why not we use Power BI, right? Okay, so why not we use click sense, click view. So these are the platform that you can immediately plug and play. You plug your formula in and you can see the result immediately. So that will be more on the BI side. Okay, for data science, you have to explore what your data is. Okay, you have to find a good method. So from the beginning, we don't know actually, right? We don't know. So the next box here is uncertain number of steps. It's very difficult to plan end-to-end solution in data science. So this is always a company's worry, a worry by most of the companies. If you don't tell me where am I going to end, how much budget, how much time do I need for this data science project? You can't be telling me infinity, right? I don't have infinity in terms of my financial numbers. So infinity doesn't make sense to me. So what a good data scientist or an experienced one will tell you, roughly we need this amount of time. So if you ask me now, what would be a good time frame? I'm looking at 3 to 6 months maximum. You can't go more than that because data change, right? Data does change over time. So you can't actually wait for 6 months, wait until the end of 6 months, wait until the end of 1 year. Then you come up with a prototype. By then, the model might not be obsolete, right? So looking at the property or real estate itself, before COVID-19, you see that particular rows of shops, right? They exist there. But during COVID-19, some of them disappeared. But today you go and see another set of shops coming up, another type of businesses there. So things change very fast. So you wait until the 1 year to see some tangible, I call it tangible product. I'm not sure whether you can have that or not. It's too late actually. So 3 months to 6 months would be a good time frame. But ultimately, what I want to say here is that you need time to do that, right? It's not like I need the product yesterday, right? So most of the time, I got this answer from most of the CEO. I will always ask, but now I don't ask this question. I'm smart enough not to ask this question, right? I won't ask anymore. When do you need the product to be showcased to you? Most of the CEO will answer, I need it yesterday. I need it yesterday. If not today, must be yesterday. So in that case, right? So no point to ask this question. So to go into this business, to go into this game, so 3 months is a minimum time frame to look into. So have you synced up with your clients or sponsor? Now, failure in data science projects are often due to the unable to distinguish the following. Right? You don't have you don't sync up with your clients. Right? Either you don't know, or your clients or your client doesn't know. Right? So the output of a data science project or the product itself, right, could be categorized into 4 categories basically. The first one is automated intelligence. Right, automated intelligence are those RPA, robotic processing automation, right? Softwares like UiPath. These are actually automated intelligence. So you have to be very clear what your client wants. Right? You have to make sure that what they want or what you in-house want must be very clear upfront before you deploy the project. The second one is supporting intelligence, right? The third one will be the expanding intelligence. The fourth one will be autonomous intelligence. In my opinion, in my very limited opinion and my recommendation, don't go to the autonomous intelligence, no matter what. It is very dangerous from the beginning. Autonomous intelligence are those like if you subscribe to some sort of a stock market software apps, or you go for some medical healthcare apps, they will actually immediately recommend you to buy this, decide this and that for you, right? Without your knowledge, autonomous means you grant the permission upfront. So all the investment, sell the share, buy the share, everything by the robot. Well, do you want to play this game? Are you brave enough to play this game? So autonomous intelligence is the one that at this moment we may want to avoid, right? Don't commit this type of intelligence, because you have to, the intelligence is automated. Fully automated means that it will make a decision for you to the extent, right? Are you anticipating iterative process? That is the next question that we need to question, right? So data science is an iterative process. So it is not a waterfall process, right? It's not a project management where you have a waterfall type, where you have a very clear begin end. But data science, unfortunately, not the case. Not the case. From my experience working for the government, whether state government or federal government, even my personal experience with the last year, the government ran the vaccination program, right? So I was part of the data science team under MOSTI. So we have also iterative process prediction of whether the vaccine supply is sufficient, the vaccination rate is fast enough. So we have iteration, a lot of iteration. It's not like we plan from February, immediately we see the impact, the result in October. We don't see that. We have many rounds of iteration. So we have to anticipate that, right? So you cannot, as a sponsor to the project, right? You cannot ask something like, hey, you plan like this, how come you don't follow it? I'm expecting you to deliver by then. How come you delay? If you keep asking this type of question, not only you are frustrated, but the data science teams, your vendor or your client, whoever, will be very frustrated. So that is the first thing that we have to understand. It is an iterative process. Bear in mind that. All right. Okay. So the next thing is, do you trust the robot or not? You have developed the system. You're so proud of your own product. Say, for example, this is for your in-house marketing purpose. All right. Your robot is actually trying to identify these are the good clients, these are the bad clients. Good here means clients that give you sales lah. Bad means they are very passive. So the list of clients is generated by the robots. The robot says, go to these clients first. Now, what if you look at the clients, you know some of the clients are actually very hard to deal with. If they buy bungalow. If they don't, they will actually having a good discussion with you. But in the bad customer list, these are some of them are your friends, your yum cha friend. So looking at that, right, the robot says these yum cha friends, right, cannot bring you anything. You better go to those very hard to deal with, but if they buy one row of bungalow, okay, or one row of semi-Ds. So you want to trust your robot or not? That is the first thing. That is the one thing that you have to also understand, right? The first thing just now I mentioned about the time, right? Time, you need time. The second one I've mentioned, it is an iterative process. The third one now, do you trust it or not? Do you trust your own products? Now, one of the most exciting and interesting experience I had, thanks to the company giving me the opportunity was that the client of the company I attached to has no idea about what data science is. And worst thing is, if the clients actually argue with you what data science should look like, should sound like, I suggest you have two choices. Number one, try to educate, try to share what data science is. Otherwise, walk away, please. Walk away peacefully, right? Walk away. You have to walk away. Otherwise, you try to educate. Because if the clients are not actually having the same mindset with you in terms of data science, whatever you do, like the time spent, the iterations that you need, the trust of the robot, they don't have this mindset. They don't understand. They don't appreciate that. Whatever you do could be doubtful, open for questions. So you have only two choices. Again, because time is needed, you need to be patient. Now, why so much time needed? Because the data itself. We know that the new oil, right, is data. Yeah, to get the petrol, right, you need to, you need to get the crude oil from the deep sea. That is a process. How much time you need to drill, how much time you need to buy the sensors to detect whether or not oil is there, reserve is there, and how do you transport the crude oil to the mainland. No need time, no need money, no need effort. Immediately you can go to petrol station and pump petrol into your car. Does it work like that? No, it doesn't work like that, right? So we all know that. So same happens go to data science. You need time to clean the data because the data full with rubbish. Full with rubbish. Okay, look at the registration list that you have maybe. Look at the telephone number. Some with plus 06, 60, sorry, plus 60. Another plus 013. Another 013 with a dash there. Another 012 without a dash there. Dealing with that is enough, right? Not to say the name, okay, and addresses. These are the things that you need time to clean. It's not that immediately, hey, data or data comes in, I want it to be in a clean format. I want to churn data, I want to churn some insights from you tomorrow. As I mentioned, you might dream about that. Yep, you might dream about that. But most of the time, you need 3 months. One of the things that you must remember here is get the right experts. This is the one guy that I know. I know this guy very much. I know him since 40 plus years ago, actually. Right, this guy, you see the profile, right? It's actually, look at the profile there, is doing, analytics here and there. So what if you as an expert in property, right? An expert in property, real estate, you actually think that, right? You actually think that, okay? This guy is an expert in AI. He can also be an expert in real estate. Why not? Since he's already in AI, I think AI can apply to real estate. Yeah, you can try that, but I'm not sure what sort of results that you are going to get. Okay, so you must respect the subject matter experts. Your area, your domain is real estate. So you are the right domain experts. Yeah, by right, you are the experts. Okay, so look for the right experts. Okay, what do you want actually? Okay, what do you want actually? Ask yourself first before you jump into the game. Do you want to sell data science as a service, a product? Or you just want the data science component that you build as value-added services to your existing product? Right? Are you using data science to enhance your in-house processes or services? Right? So ask this question. Right? Ask this question. The next question here is, what value does data science guarantee me? What values does data science guarantee me? This is the next question that the company like to ask, right? Most of the company likes to ask. Okay. I know that jumping into data science is full with challenges. It's very exciting, interesting. But I want to know the tangible part of it. What can you guarantee me? This is a very challenging question to answer. I give you some sample from the website, right? You go to this Simply Learn website. It says how and why and how data science matter to business. So it will tell you a lot of things about business, right? About business. So you see this. This is this one, right? You can empowering management. It will tell you a lot. Most of the website you use Google, right? It will tell you all the very exciting things, right? Okay, empowering management and officers to make better decision, data scientists, direct action, and decision making a quality, identify opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Right, this is the first one. The second one here is this, another one I just randomly just share here. Okay, build a customer loyalty and retention, achieve profitable growth, and so many. Different website will give you different stories, but ultimately, it can be grouped into two only. Number one is it helps internal processes, internal business, or it helps your external parties, your clients, your whatever, right? Outside of your company. Where do you see the benefits? Right? Where do you see the benefit? It is internal, for internal purpose, your HR, your finance, your procurement, whatever, or it is external, your clients, right? Your marketing or whatever it is. So it internal or external. So once you group them, right, you identify what is the purpose of running this data science project, then you will feel comfortable. You will feel comfortable because for internal enhancement, right, you may not want to ask ROI. You may not want to ask ROI. But if it is external facing, like you want to get more clients, get more sales, that one you count the ROI. So it's very, very different. So that you don't keep asking, where is the ROI? Where is the ROI? Where is the ROI? And yet you don't know whether it's for internal or for external purpose. Okay? So again, you need time, right? You need time, right? Over time, you can see money comes in. All right? So moving forward, right? Moving forward, this is what I can say. Okay? Ask yourself this. Do you have access to data points or not currently now? If yes, whether it's raw or aggregated data. You have to be very clear whether it's raw data or aggregated. Aggregated are mainly for statistic purpose, right? So you say, oh, this one has this number, that one has that number. January you have this, February you have this. It's aggregated data in Excel. In Excel, you say pivot table will generate that. Now, what is the quality of the data points on hand? Do you need more time to collect more of them? You need to check the quality now. Okay. In my previous project, with the government of Selangor. We want to know whether or not the symptoms for the adult patient, COVID patient, is the same as the child patient. So we need to make sure that we have sufficient data about the kids and the adult before we make the conclusion. So if we don't have, we have to let the system to collect more data. The third one, have you identified the purpose of a data science project, internal or external? Do your existing products already collecting data points? Are they collecting data points now or they yet? It means that you have products, but yeah, you collect the data points, but would it be sufficient to run data science project or not? All right. Okay, the next thing here is look at these companies. Do these companies sell their data science solution? GrabFood, Honestbee, Delivery Eat, Foodpanda. Do they actually sell the data science solutions or not? I don't think they sell, right? They don't sell. It's for their own purpose. So they are not a vendor for data science. If they want to sell their engine, I'm very positive that it is a great engine. But they don't sell, all right? They don't sell. How about these companies? Do they sell their engine? They have a very, like Prudential, like AIA, Great Eastern, they have a very huge data science department, but they don't sell the data science engine or components to, no, for subscription purposes, no. Okay, so the next thing here is, I am interested, but these are some of the questions. Here's some of the questions that companies looking for MMU for collaboration will highlight. Number one, how much is the investment? Number two, how to control the budget? Number three, how soon can I see the POC? Number four, you sure it will help my business? These are some of the questions, right? Okay, to answer you, right, from my experience working with companies, as I mentioned, and looking around other universities, my colleagues, how they actually, work. So I learned a lot from all these people. If you have a very short time frame and you have a lot of money, right? You have the money to spend, go to commercial consultancy firms, right? They can immediately run something for you very fast. You have time is money. So you have money, you have time. You don't have time, but you have a lot of money. So use money to buy your time. Buy the product. So if you have a short time frame, all right, but you have not that much money, try to partner up with some AI solution providers. Some of them are very happy to work with data owner, right? Some of them. All right. Okay. And how about this one? If you have a medium time frame and you have a lot of money, why not try setting up your own department, provided that you have your own data. You are collecting data. You are collecting data. You have been collecting data, right? You have not having your own in-house department. So you have the money to spend. You are not urgent, very, very urgent or short time frame. You can go for this as a start, small start, right? But if you have a long time frame and you have you don't want to spend a lot of money in data science, you can partner up with R&D centers or universities. That is a good start, but make sure that you have ample time. Okay, working with universities, R&D centers, you're not expecting because they look more into R&D. All right. Okay. So if you have your own data, right, you want to start now, right? I personally would see this as a probably a model that you can look into, right? The first phase is scoping and R&D. You can go do it in-house, and you want to do collaboration to any universities that you want, you feel comfortable with, right? So many universities in Malaysia, just go around and ask, no worries. All the university are more than happy to entertain you, right? Of course, the next phase, once this R&D or collaboration is a success, don't. A lot of people have this mindset that, oh, to work with university, right? I will talk about that later on. Okay, about the investment or whatever. Okay, next I go to the development phase first. The development phase, right? Of course, you can do it in-house if you have own money. But you can also, with the product output from the university, why not you partner with some solution provider? Let them carry on with what the university found out, right? Carry it to market in a large scale. Okay. And lastly, productization, again, let the partner or you do it in-house. Run it. Okay. Now, after you have commercialized the whole thing, productionization, the component, you may want to fine tune it. Then you go back to university and then, okay, I want to fine tune. This is very common with companies that I deal with. Not only company, banks also do the same thing. We have collaboration with banks also, right? Don't think that only the startups are doing this. No, I don't. I tell you, not startup. All right, it's not startup that because they don't have money or they have a little money to spend in this, so that they go to university. No, it's not right. Right? It's not right from my experience. So, okay, example of collaborations that I have with one company called Anka. This is health analytics company. So they set up a lab in MMU. Now, why of course, setting up a lab is a cost there, but if you want to set a lab like this in Bangsa or whatever, what is the monthly rental? But in MMU, we charge you very, very minimal for the rental, to pay the electricity, cleaning, and whatever. This mutual understanding and build mutual benefits. So this is a success story, and there are so many also. Okay, right? Lastly, regardless of the approaches, right? Make sure that you have a copy of the raw data, right? Regardless of what you want to do, right? Make sure that when you sign agreement with your vendor, with a client, or blah, blah, whatever they are, if you really want to run analytics, right? Make sure that you have raw data. Okay, you cannot reverse. You have data, you can do a lot of things. But if you have something, but you want to reverse to raw data, doesn't make sense anymore. Doesn't make sense anymore, right? You cannot change my gender. Can you? You cannot change my gender, right? So no point. So no raw data means you miss the first part, that is the data pre-processing part already. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Special thanks to Dr. Daniel for this great opportunity to share my little experience with everyone here. I hope that you may get something from me, right? So if you have any questions, perhaps now, Dr. Daniel, Vivian, we
Yes.
open Q&A.
Yeah, we definitely open for Q&A to the public. Dr. Ting, thank you for the extremely interesting and insightful explanation on data science, which I'm sure plenty of our members have been, of the public have been enjoying. Maybe if it's okay with you, we stop sharing the screen and we open now to the public for question. You can choose either you unmute yourself and ask directly the question, or you can also put up the question in the chat. We have one that was dropped by Matthew during your presentation. He is saying, Dr. Ting, is Proptech a subfield of IT and computing in academic studies? He is from Hong Kong. You can reply, then I will also maybe add a bit. Please, Dr. Ting.
Thank you for the question. If you ask me, PropTech should belongs to the architect or environment faculty. It is not under the faculty of computing. So computing and IT will not have an umbrella under it called PropTech. No, we don't have. PropTech usually under the architect and environmental faculty or school. Thank you.
Built environment. Technically, Proptech is becoming slowly part of built environment faculties, even more than architect, because we have to keep in mind what the big umbrella of Proptech in a kind of a global accepted vision of the Proptech vertical is inclusive of. One is Contech and one is RE FinTech. So once we combine together these three, mostly PropTech goes into the built environment. But definitely, and this is why MPA keeps on disturbing you, Dr. Ting, and few of your other colleagues in technical universities, PropTech startups are in a continuous research of tech scientists, from data scientists to AI, machine learning scientists, to blockchain scientists, to support and to improve the use of all the PropTech solution. And regarding this, I have an interesting point that I would like to put on the table for discussion. And please, from the public, feel absolutely free to ask a question. PropTech solutions are, for the greatest part, app-based. Some of them are web-based. Some are both web and app-based. And we know, in the moment in which we have on our phone, we collect we allow every single app in our phone to collect data about our habit, our movements. MySejahtera has been a very good example in the last 2.5 years. Waze is another good example, Grab and Google, and so on. Considering that we are technically generating data which are collected by third parties, how could we claim a co-ownership on this data? Is there any sort of tool that allows me to read at least the data that I am generating? First question. Second question is latest news on opening to the public some of the big data collection centers, such as MySejahtera and a few others, if you have any information related to this. Third question, considering all the data that all the solutions that our members are having are their own, because they are the owner of the app at the end of the day, any suggestion for all our members on how to start looking into this data to originate a much higher ROI to their clients? So a use of internal collection data for an external purpose.
Yeah, I try to answer the questions, right? The first one, about like data collected by apps, right? Like MySejahtera, whatever. Now, most of, as far as I understood, right? So if we have colleagues from legal background, you may also want to chip in, please. right? From my understanding, all the apps owner, all the apps developer, when you use the app, you have to click
You
agree,
agree?
agree. Most of us, you may not want to read, but one of the terms and condition is that the data belongs to them. The data belongs to them. So if you are actually um, if you are running business, say for example, A, B, and B, say for example, all right, rental business. Now you engage me as a vendor, right? I build you an app. Now, most of the time, right, most of the time, based on my limited understanding about agreements, is that the data belongs to me, not you. You are the owner of the business, but the data belongs to me. That is what is happening most of the time. So that's where you see a lot of issues when app is being deployed and then they want to claim back data. Finally, you need to buy back all the data, whatever not. Yeah. So when you sign the agreement, right, you have to be very cautious on who owns the data, right? As a business owner, you always want to have your data, but unfortunately, I consulted many of the companies that I know of, software companies, app companies. I check also, they belong to the company, not the business owner. Yeah, a lot of cases I know of already happening here and there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the first thing that during the agreement, right? During agreement. As for we as the end user, can we have a call into what we generated? I don't think so. I don't think so because you use the service for free,
Yeah.
right? We use CIMB Click, we use Maybank. You can only see something that belongs to you, but they will not tell you actually you click this button, click that button, click this button, click this. They actually use all this to to understanding the behavior of a rich guy like Dr. Daniel. Dr. Daniel, a rich guy, actually click this button first and then another button. But people like me click another button first, then this. So they analyze this. They won't tell you, and they don't need to tell you because that is at the app functionality, not your how to say, not your personal data. So they don't have a right. They don't basically need to entertain you lah. Yeah, this is what I understood. Right, the terms and condition actually long terms and condition are actually spelled out very carefully already. Okay. So that is. So as a last question about the data collection, right? So if you actually have your in-house development and you actually have your started your in-house data science team, my personal opinion is that you think with the mind of data from the beginning, right? What data you want to collect. So if you do not know, just get all the data that you can generate. Whether it is useful or not doesn't matter, but you have to know how to collect them first and store them properly. Doesn't matter whether uh, you you don't need to answer what are these data for, right? If you don't have, the best scenario is you have some objective to answer, and therefore from there you know what data to collect. But if you don't have a specific objective and you don't see that you need to run that particular objective, say for example, right, you may just collect everything as a start. Yes, that is my personal opinion because it is very costly. After 3 months, you modify the app to collect data. Because why? Because if you are the software vendor, I believe that you know what is happening behind the scene. Because if I am the client, sorry, if you are the client, I am the vendor, software development vendor. So you ask me to develop an app with this functionality, one, two, three. Okay, I build that. I do a stress test on it. I do a database backend loading, whatever. I test everything so that everything is fast. right? 3 months later, you said, oh, I want to add another functionality to keep log of everything. So it will actually disturbs the equilibrium, no, the stability of the system. It could be slow, it could be data congestion or concurrency issue at the back end. And then only then you as the client complain, how come my app becomes so slow? How come this one, that one? So I personally would want to say, try not to modify. I cannot say cannot modify. I say try not to modify uh, after 3 months, 6 months, whatever. You better spend one more month in brainstorming, in fine tuning, whatever. When everything is running, right, everything from the IT gels together. Suddenly you have one piece fall from sky. We need to fix that component into the existing one, or it's like you are disturbing the equivalent of the systems already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So
interesting.
have data in mind from the beginning. That will be on the safe side.
Precisely. Knowing already what I want to collect and what I want to do in terms of data, then only open up for the public use. And above all, make sure you have very clear terms and conditions to avoid backfire from the users of your app. All right. Any question? Any question from the public? Let me see. Wong, Vivienne, I know you are collecting a lot of data. Any question for our... Oh, Mr. Wong, yes, please.
Hey, Dr. Ting, great to see you again. Yeah, so Wong here. So I run a rental marketplace, a property rental marketplace. So I like your statement saying having the data in mind, right? When we do our business and as we collect our data. So for our case, I believe I would as we run our business, we also collect a lot of data, as we go along, right? So first question, if now we are focusing on running the operations and our business and not going into data science so much per se. So first question, so how or where should we store the data? Or how do we store it properly so that we can later on go back and retrieve it to do data science? First thing. Then secondly is sometimes as a business owner, we would have certain ideas how to use the data to improve, like you say, internal or external process, right, for our business. Then what if we don't have an idea? So how do we come to people like yourself as a data scientist to help give us some ideas, or actually we have to sort somewhere else to give us an idea how do we use this data to help our business and our client, our solutions and so forth? Yeah, so basically 2 questions for you. Thank you, Dr. Ting.
So the first question was if you have not collecting the data from the beginning, is it?
No, let's say we are collecting data, but sometimes we may not know whether this is useful data or not, because we haven't have a clear direction or solution or the data science that we want to perform. So do we store all the data? Do we keep everything? Or do we at very first we already need to sort out, so how do we manage this data that we collect?
So to answer your first question, right, from my limited experience with companies, right, as I mentioned just now, there is an insurance company, by the way. So they don't actually collected the data from the beginning. But after 3 months, when they want to run something, they don't have the data. And the data is not sufficient. They have, but it's not sufficient. So because whatever they want to run the campaign or will require that piece of data. So what they need to do, they have to modify the entire system. They thought that, okay, modify, I just want to take this thing. But when they talk to their vendor, it seems that the small things require 6 months for them to modify, and then only then it can start collecting the data. So if you ask me, I'm not sure whether I'm answering your question. If you ask me, right, it's better to actually store everything that you could have from your existing module. Of course, you can add on new module, but that one add-on is beyond your current control. Whatever you have within your current control, you have to start collect already. Otherwise, when this piece of data is related to the next piece of data, and you know that, oh, next piece of thing, I want to do this analytics. But this analytics requires the data from the previous module, and you didn't keep it properly, then it's a waste. So you have to re-engineer the data pipeline, everything. So it is not about money, but it's a time, actually. Yeah, you have your customer already a customer, so you may not get back whatever they generated. That is the thing that we feel sorry. It's not about money and time, basically. It's about the data that the customers generated. They have already generated, that's all, and they won't be able to regenerate for you. Something, yeah. So if the next question, right, if you have data, so who you want to talk to if you don't have the idea? Number one, of course, you can go to a big consultancy firm. They will charge you, of course. This is no doubt they will send you a bill first, right? Otherwise, you go to the easiest one. You go to universities. No other places there, because why? If Proptech, right, some university they have this faculty under environmental or under architecture and environmental faculty. They have people doing this type of projects, right? So they are very happy to collaborate with universities. Yeah. So just try to talk to colleagues from this area. They will be able to help. Yes. Not about the technical of how data science work, but generating the idea first. Then they can, because we read a lot of research papers, a lot of articles. In my own field, I know what to do. So I believe that within their field, they know what to do. Yes.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Ting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
There is now a question from the floor. Jason is asking, thank you, Dr. Ting, on your sharing. Agreed that right understanding is the foundation for meaningful engagement between client and provider. Where do you think Malaysian developers stack in this regard? Any meaningful use case you have observed so far?
What do you mean by developers here? Who do you refer to?
Property developers, I think. Jason, is it property developers? Yeah, property developers. He has been adding in. Because let's say that the four verticals where Proptech is active are construct, transact, plan, construct, transact, and manage. And allow me to say that probably a good 30% of our members are actively engaging with property developers in different manners, either from the construction point of view, the planning point of view, the transaction point of view, and in some cases for those developers holding asset, developing a shopping mall and then holding it to manage the shopping mall. What Jason is asking is there any case study or pilot project or research project done that you are aware of within the built environment, shopping mall or property development for residential or commercial real estate, applied to data science?
Within my knowledge, I know one shopping mall in Malaysia is applying all the is applying the contact tracing log, right? Whenever I go, I need to scan is applying contact tracing log to know the customer flow. I know that there is one developer is doing that. That is what I can say on it. Yes. They
From
know the flow of the customer, where the customer moved from one point to another point. Uh, they are studying that. Yes, I knew that. Yes,
From a
that is
property
the only thing.
development point of view, residential property development, developer tracking not only the physical visitors but also the virtual visitors to their website, to their social media, to their engagement along the way to collect the data and understand the likes and so on. Any practical case that you have been looking at?
To be frank, I am not aware of that at the moment, mainly because I was approached by developers actually about the data. When I worked for the vaccination program, I was approached by two, and they are not small actually. So it seems that the data itself is lacking within their environment. So that is why
Very much.
I would say that the property developers are actually could be struggling with the validity of the data and availability of the data for them to make a sound decision or recommendation. So as for whether or not there is a uh, successful cases, I can't comment on that, frankly, because if they themselves do not have data on hand, I think forget about whether or not the project is a success or not, because nothing can be done when there is a lack of data. Yeah, that's why I
I
see.
Yeah, I agree. And Jason too is saying my own observation is that there is still a big gap, but they are slowly catching up by starting data teams within their organization. It is still considered a cost center.
Right.
Is a bad habit of most developers in being a bit short-sighted, like the Queen were saying, I want it all and I want it now, basically, at zero cost, which is practically impossible. So developers have been using data, no doubt, in the past, engaging people like me to do market study, to do data
Mhm.
collection and analysis for them. And beside me, there are plenty of others, of course, much bigger than me, such as Property Guru or iProperty with Brits, with their the data analysis and data
Mm.
aggregation, kind of.
Mm.
But property developer, I believe, are still very, very, very far away. And the other funny thing that I've been experiencing on first hand is that quite often, if the outcome of the data study is not in line with what they are thinking, they are start commenting and expressing a doubtful point on the veridicity of the data set that you have been analyzing.
True,
kind
true,
of, kind of, kind of.
true, true.
Um, Let me see, any other question from the floor? No. One question from my side, if you are allowed to
Mm.
let us know something in this direction. You are cooperating closely with the government, with mostly you have been engaged since 2020 to analyze and help them providing a predictive modeling for distribution of vaccine and so on. How far has the government been going in starting a proper data collection and looking into the possibility to make at least some of these data of public access, either for free or at a cost, but allowing the public to access data on, for instance, property transaction? NAPIC has been since a long time the official collector of data on transaction for properties. Department of Statistics of Malaysia, the biggest collector, that data center of the country. How far have they been going towards opening at least some of these data for the public that you are aware of?
I think that the government is actually setting up the big data analytics, something like big data analytics center. And this center is going to be set up and parked under Department of Statistics Malaysia. It's going to be materialized soon, if not mistaken. And under this center, they are going to do, of course, the data cleaning, data aggregation, preparation for all the different ministry. I was told that. And at the moment, Department of Statistics Malaysia do provide open data, right? Open data to public, but at the it is free, but at a higher level. If you want to go for a granular level, you need to contact them and with a price. Yes, that is what Department of Statistics is doing. Yes.
Yeah, and above all, raw data are still very hard to be get from the government. The original
Yes.
set,
Yes.
original data set, that is hold secret somehow.
Mm.
All right, any further question? You are free to either drop the question in the chat or open your microphone and give a voice to your question marks. Okay, then beside my next question for you is I will drop you a message and fix a day for another coffee soon. Too long that we are not seeing each other,
Sure.
Dr. Ting.
Sure.
It has been a true honor and pleasure to see you again. Oh, Wong. Yes, Wong.
Hi, it's me again. So just a quick indication, no need to be very accurate. I mean, let's say for a company to engage or to set up a internal data data science team, roughly what sort of cost are we looking at as compared to, let's say, we collaborate with universities or even other third-party commercial service provider? What sort of costs are we looking at if, let's say, we already have in-hand data that we want to tune, to come up with something to help us improve our business and so on? Any indication?
Let me answer you this question. This is something that I can share with you, right? If you want to set up your in-house, I presume that you know the scope of that particular department, what the department is doing, what sort of projects they are running, and what sort of expected deliverables that you are going to get, right? So you have a very clear scope of work for that particular set of people inside there. Otherwise, you are actually pouring money into and you don't get anything. So if your question is that, okay, as a start, I don't have anything, but I have the intention to set up my own later on, maybe 3 months or whatever. So perhaps these 3 months, you may want to collaborate with university as a start. Any university will do. As long as they welcome, just go ahead and maybe you engage them as a consultant. If you think that you go to the big boys for consultancy is very costly, then you go to the university, right? So that is my sincere suggestion, because paying a consultancy fee will be much cheaper than setting up a department. This is what I have seen. Big companies, they set up after 3 years, they can justify, so they have to scale it down. So it is not something that is good for the employee inside there. So not until the the deliverables are tangible, right? Companies might not want to immediately invest. That's why I would say. If you are actually asking, okay, what would be the cost for the starting point? Okay, all the university will have the consultancy arm. So you can ask them how much the charges are. It's usually by hour. For most of the universities, you just name all the university, they have this marketing or commercial arm. All right, that is the first thing. So second thing is if you want to set your own department already, so I may want to suggest you have one data engineer, right? One data scientist and one full stack developer as a start. 3 person enough. Data engineer are those people who actually help cleaning all your data, crawl your data, clean your data, push the data back, database from data from the database or pull the database from different sources, right? So this is people with the right skill set. The second one is the full stack developer. This is the guy that is important because you have the data. You have the data, but you have already your own products running, right? You have a new initiative, way to store, how to store. Okay, this data engineer can do that for you, but you have to integrate that back to your system somehow. Only the full stack people can do, right? Now, in terms of turning analytics, now this analytics has to be very careful. There are two parts of it. Number one, are you getting a data scientist to run insights for you as a CEO or for the management to make decision? That's number one, right? So they are more on the so-called insights team, right? They actually help the CEO to understand, oh, the patterns like this. People like to click this. People want to buy this. So, okay, the strategy is like this. So I'm the CEO, I make decision. For the marketing chief for help. Another skill set is actually building the AI component into your software, existing software, so that the customer, the user will feel, hey, suddenly your app becomes intelligent, know what I want, can feel me, right? Can help me do things with a shorter number of steps. So these are a bit different, the skill set, a bit different. One is more on the statistics analysis, one is more on the technical data scientist. So we have to be very careful. And what do you want first? Okay. The thing is that when I see companies, right, they start up, they build the team. Suddenly the team is big, but they don't have things to do already. They don't know what to do. Not because they don't know what to do, it's just that it has not been scoped properly from the beginning. Yeah, it is very costly, as I mentioned. It is very different from a product development, from software engineering development. Software engineering development, you know it is very tangible. I want this button to be in red color. So you make it red color. I want the page to fill with this animation. Just make the animation. So you know the tangible output is there. Right? It's very clear. So usually the development team will not size down on. Usually will go bigger because more clients coming in. But if you have a big data science team from the beginning, but the data is so small, what are you going to do with that? You are actually wasting your investment at the wrong channel only. Yeah. That's why I see a lot of companies are actually facing that. So that's why they resize it now. At least two companies.
Yeah, agree. So we need to have a very clear objective and also deliverables that we meant to achieve lah. Okay, thank you again, Dr. Ting. Back to you, Dr. Daniel.
Yeah, deciding. Let's say, ideally, we all tech providers should know at the very beginning of the development of our own technology and platform and solution, what we want to collect. Which data do we want to collect? And for which purpose? As Dr. Ting has been repeating, one during the presentation and just now, is an internal use or an external use? And it's tricky, it's definitely tricky. Just an advice from your side, because when we talk about tech, we think immediately about MMU, we think also about APU. Any other university that you might be ranking high for data science?
I would say USM.
USM?
Yep, I would say USM.
Oh yeah, Science Malaysia. Yeah,
Penang.
Science. Yeah. That
Because
is also
USM
quite
has
good.
a school of statistics, applied statistics
Yeah.
or something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
So they back each other very well. Yeah. In some of them are in the same building. Data science and the statistics department. Yeah, in the same building.
Yeah. You're
USM.
right.
I
You're
would say
right.
USM.
That is a very good one. All right. Any further question? Otherwise, I hand back the floor to Vivienne and let her close this April Tech Talk that I hope all of our public have been enjoying, learning always something new, and a great pleasure to see you, Dr. Ting, old friend of Malaysian Proptech Association, and Vivienne, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Daniel. Before I close, there is one person who sent me a private message, was asking a question. Universities using students for commercial work.
Okay. So the question is,
are the university using students for commercial work?
Can or cannot? The question is,
are they using?
I think what the person is asking is, are the university using the students in the moment in which a corporation is asking for a consultancy, or the consultancy comes from the professors and the teacher?
I'm not sure whether I can answer this one, but based on my experience, right? Okay, based on my experience, most of my consultancy work, I brought my students outside for two reasons. Number one, they want to have side income. That's number one. Very tangible request. They want to. These are the students who are very self-initiated. They come to me. So I want to learn more about it. I want one line in my CV so that when I graduate, I have higher demand. These are very good students. They think faster, further. Okay. So I brought this type of students outside together. So we learn together, right? But they are paid. So I don't usually, my practice is, I don't actually take the money from the company and I distribute to students. No, I don't want to do that. I never, in all my projects, I never do that. Right? With the government, with the companies, I never do that. I want the company to directly deal with the student. So that it has nothing to do with me. It means that the students are actually responsible to the company themselves. So it's one to discipline them. Because students, they thought that under a lecturer, anything the lecturer can actually cover everything, or the attitude. I want the attitude to be correct. You want to follow me, then you have to know that from now on, you are responsible for your own action. Right? You get the money directly paid from the company. So I don't care how much, 1,000, 2,000, some pay 3,000, doesn't matter. I don't care. So it's directly between the company and the student. So you get whatever cash voucher, whatever it is, directly to you. No need to go through me. I'm not going to tax you, right? That is first thing that we make it very clear. That is why the students work under me so far, no complaint. Cannot complain. That is
the person also asked, is that legal and are they qualified to do commercial work?
Good question. Very good question. So it depends on the students themselves, and also how the supervisor or how the lecturer trusts the students. Right? If you say that you are good and I don't trust you, I also don't want to. I don't dare. I don't dare to bring you outside. Don't dare to bring you outside. Because once you go outside, that is your own profile, that is inside your CV. Because next time you put in your CV, the company say, oh, you have worked part-time in this ABC company, right? So you actually, the company may actually, check on you, background check on you, you see? So you have to be careful on that. Now, why I do this mainly because if the students actually do this directly with the companies, right? It is actually considered the students' engagement with the company engagement. It's nothing to do with the university anymore. Do you get me? Is it clear? It is different. It is different model. We have a few models in the university that most of the lecturers, not only in MMU, in many universities are practicing. Number one, the company sponsor. Since you want to talk about the money, then we discuss this a few models here. The company pump in money, say for example 20,000 for this project. So right, this 20,000 will go to the university. Now, it is the university responsible to look for the lecturer. If the company has already identified the lecturer, it's easier lah. It's easier. So the lecturer will look for a group of students, but this group of students, say for example, are tagged to the project. Usually 2, 3 like that. Right. So they tag under this. So everything is covered under the umbrella of the university. When the university know all these things, it is legal. It is legal. It is legal. As I mentioned, this is the students' initiative. It cannot be actually forced from, I don't know if you can advise me. I never heard of any of my colleagues actually ask the students to do free job for them and then not pay them. At least not for me lah. At least not right lah to me. Why are you doing that? You want a mutual collaboration. I don't think that students are stupid. They are smarter than you sometimes, right? They have new ideas. Okay, put that aside first. Let me just complete the whole thing first. So that is the first model. The second model is that if the engagement is the students and the company, and that it will not touch the university. And university cannot control them. They want to do part-time. Why university want to control them? You get me or not? It is not about a student can do part-time or not. Why a student cannot do part-time? Is there a reason? Is there a reason that a student cannot be Grab food, doing Grab food or Food Panda? What is the reason? You tell me. There's no reason. We cannot control. If we cannot control, the parents cannot control, why a university can control them? Why the university has to be responsible on them? That's why I say university, the initiative come from the students usually, most of the time. These are very good students actually, most of the time. They are very self-motivated students, right? Yep. Okay, so I hope that this is clearer. Now, next, about this engagement, why university usually engage, we encourage the company to pay the university for all the consultancy work. Only one reason, only one, so that the IP copyrights belong to the company. Finish. Yeah. Answer is that. My answer is that. So if you actually use the word collaboration, then when things are out, as a company, we cannot go and claim 100%. Are you okay with that? If you are okay with 50-50 share, you can go for full research collaboration. Yeah. Yeah. Because when copyright is being referred to, right, sometimes it's quite sensitive. Okay? Yeah. So we may not want to run into this trouble inconveniences. Yeah.
Yeah. One question that
Yep.
I may think, unfortunately, Viviana had to leave because she has a following meeting, business meeting, so she had to drop it.
No problem.
Let me ask you one question. I put myself in an external company, a startup basically. I come over to MMU. I talk to MMU saying I would like to do this project in cooperation with you. Then MMU assign the project, say, to Dr. Ting. And then Dr. Ting assign some students to this project. As a corporate, my first question is, who is the PIC? The students or Dr. Ting? Who do I deal with? Is something goes wrong in the proceeding of the project? As an external party, I fully understand that I'm approaching the university because I have a limited budget. As you were explaining, short term, big money, small money, no money, and so on. All right. I put myself in the shoes, in the boot. You were saying that I'm very rich. Actually, I'm not. I'm also bootstrapped, as all our members. I come over to MMU and say, okay, Dr. Ting, let's make a project study, a research study on this big data applied to property price, location, prediction, and so on. Who is, at the end of the day, my counterpart responsible for the delivery?
Okay, very good question. Before I answer you, Dr. Daniel, let me answer you, Mr. Law, right? Miss Law.
Yeah.
Law, right?
Yeah.
So will this company pay market rate? Depends. We have companies paying higher than market rate. To be frank, yes, they are. There are companies paying market rate. There are companies paying following the university rate. Follow the university rate usually lower than the market rate. That is why most of companies, they don't go to the big boys. They go to the university as a start. They know already, study already, survey already the price before they go to university. That is to answer you. Okay, to answer you, Dr. Daniel. So who is the PIC? Usually the PIC will be the university. It depends if the project is assigned by the university, right? I am assigned by the university. So the university has one PIC. So in that case, the university will take all the blames if the project is not working fine. But if the money comes to the respective lecturer and the lecturer actually report that commercial activity to the university, then the PIC is the lecturer. And I want to emphasize here, sometimes the project are not involving students. We will actually look for colleagues. We don't look for students. It depends on the project. Now, some projects, right? I give you an example. I recently worked with some health analytics company also. My partners, all of them are lecturers, not students. So the company pay the lecturers directly. Yeah. So it's not true to say that a lecturer will use the students, use the student to do something for them. I'm not sure whether it is ethic or not, but I personally would never do that because the respect is not there to the students. So the least respect is not there. If you have money, you put together why you want to song up everything, right? You share the money, right? When you share the money, most students will come. And to the extent that many students come to me, so I have a handful of students, good students for me to choose.
Yeah.
Why do I want to keep all the money? They are inspired to be more excel, in the field. That is what we also want to train the students in doing that, right? So not just that, oh, you take all the money, the student do all the work. I think you one case enough. Your reputation is very good already among the students. Gone already, I would say. Totally gone. Don't think the
That-
students are stupid.
yeah,
Yeah, don't think. No such thing lah. I don't believe in that lah.
I,
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure other university, but so far I don't know lah. I have not heard lah. That is
yeah.
very extreme already. Okay. So
But from my end, I would say, yeah, if I will ever do a data science project with MMU, the first thing that I will do as a private entity is to say I want Dr. Ting to be in charge, and the second thing it will be let's use your students and pay them. I fully agree with you, 100%. Is the fact of having a lecturer from the university with experience in the corporate or government work, giving, acting kind of as a supervisor for the students, and knowing that as a company I also pay the students for it, is something that is extremely fair. So I 100% agree with you and with the ethic behind all this, Dr. Ting. All right, here question keep on coming in. Let's see. No.
I think let me
Yes.
answer Mr. Low one, right?
Yeah. Have you seen students fail their degrees because they spend too much time doing outside work?
Okay. If you my personal answer to the flow here, if the student that I know of are doing something that is within my control, right? If the project comes from me, I will not suffer the academic degree first. That is the first thing. Because academic comes first, no matter what, right? If that is within my control, because my purpose as academic here, we have to ensure that they learn something, and at the same time they get some return on investment. They have to learn this process. Now, your university is also encouraging through some sort of cadetship already now MMU, because we want to bridge the student to the commercial world as fast as possible, but under the condition that the academic is not being they don't suffer from any academic loss. That is the first thing. Now, if you ask me this question in general, like if someone is actually, if we can control them and the things come from us, we control. But if the student has some outside project and we don't know that, and they don't want to tell us that, and they don't want to share with us, I have some students from their friends asking me, telling me, sir, they don't want to actually do the project together. He is an expert. He is doing a lot of outside web development. In the project, he doesn't want to contribute. So this type of student, do you think I can control? I cannot control. Because the project doesn't come from me. If the project come from me, I just say, oh, okay, you have this issue, I cut now. I get another one. Otherwise, I will just do it myself. Not that I cannot program, right? So I just control. I have to manage, because these students are actually tech under you. It's your responsibility to ensure that they don't suffer. First thing is academic.
Precisely agree with you, Dr. Ting. Okay, let's see all of us, if possible, for a few minutes, for one last, let me see, how do I remove all the pins? Maybe you can help me 1 second,
Yes.
Wong. And I would say that we can come to the closing of today. 1 second, where is here? And okay, spotlight for everyone. Let me see. Okay. I don't know why I cannot see all the participants for a last picture together. Wong, can you?
Doctor, you just change your view to gallery view on your top right.
Yeah, I tried, but it doesn't work. I am still pinned together with you. I don't know why. Never mind. I let you take the picture in this case, Wong.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, so I'd like to invite everyone who is still online to kindly switch on your video. We take a group photo just to remember us all together on a Saturday afternoon. Okay, so on the count of three, 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, anyone? Take one more photo, yeah? Okay, on your video if you can. Okay, maybe with a thumbs up, yes, correct. Okay, on three, 3, 2, 1, cheers. Okay, thank you so
Perfect.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ting, for the deep insight data science. You know that we have a open channel of communication between MPA and MMU. I am actually planning to deepen this channel of communication with MMU through a closer discussion. I will probably disturb you again during the next few weeks to see whether we can meet and start discussing into internship for our member within our members and bring all this further. It has been an extremely insightful presentation, and I would like, on behalf of all the participants of today, to thank you so much for the time you have been dedicated and for your openness during the Tech Talk. We will disturb you again for another Tech Talk later on this year. To all participants, thank you for your time today. Remember, have a look at our proptech.org.my and join us as member. Look at EPSA 2022, our forthcoming October 26 and 27 Asia Pacific Proptech Summit, which will be a big event. We are planning to have it this year hybrid according to the further movement of our MCO and related SOPs. And with this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again, Dr. Ting. Thank you all for the support, and we will see you again in 1 month's time. Bye-bye. Have a very good Raya celebration to the one celebrating next week. Bye-bye all. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.